Hey, what's up? My name is Matt Workman, and today I'm going to be reading the Unreal Engine 4.26 release notes. I've been waiting for quite a while for this to be actually public and not in preview, so pretty excited to read about it myself. Thought I would share that with you. In case you don't like reading, you like having someone read to you, like a bedtime story. That's what's going down. So Unreal Engine 4.26 release notes, overview of new and updated features in Unreal Engine 4.26 Lighthouse, with a lighthouse. So we're going to just keep scrolling down. This is probably a long video. I've never made one like this before, but I kind of wanted to. Major features, hair, fur, and feathers. There's a cool little video on this. Maybe I'll play it if I have the energy to go get the clip from the highlight reel. But yeah, the fur for animals looking pretty incredible. Very Lion King looking clip there. And the groom asset. This is what I am here for. Again, I'm just going to hit play on this. Look at the hair. And look at the lighting on the hair. This is what has been missing from digital humans, because we have the lighting tech pretty good. Unreal Engine 5, possibly better. But the lighting tech is kind of there if you have the right graphics card. But doing card hair, it just never looks right lighting-wise. Doing strand hair grooms that I spent a month learning how to do grooms in Maya and working with some of the grooms teams from Epic Games. This is hair. This is like real hair, and it has physics to it. It moves like real hair. I mean, there's like LODs and simplifications of it, but it looks incredible, and at the end of the day, it's going to make lighting digital humans a lot better for Cinetracer and for just all Unreal Engine work that I'm doing. And coming down to sky, cloud, and environment, we have possibly a new setup for the clouds, the volumetric clouds. I tried them out in 4.25. They were pretty awesome, but I guess not shippable really, or still a little bit beta. This is showing that we have now a volumetric cloud actor. Oh my goodness. Wow, that looks incredible. The new sky atmosphere, really good with the directional light. And that's all I really needed to see. So I think I'm going to be taking all these things and making my own blueprint out of them and exposing what controls that I want. There's just so many variables, right? I just expose a couple to Cinetracer and then the ones that I'll be using for most of my virtual production work. But wow, do we have an incredible environment system with sky, sun, and clouds stock in Unreal Engine. Pretty incredible. I have no idea what that is, but you can make really cool looking clouds. Wow. Wow. That's going to be so fun. And what is this? What even is this? He's like painting clouds and there's lightning coming out. I just want regular clouds, but if I get to that point, that's pretty awesome. So volumetric clouds, Cinetracer, look out. And in general, yeah, so I'll be streaming on YouTube, me face rolling my way through learning this system, but that looks incredible. Sky atmosphere does so much more than I needed to do other than make a good looking sky look good. You can also go into space. I don't need to go into space yet, but maybe someday I'm going to travel into space in Unreal Engine, but that's cool. Real-time skylight capture. So that's going to be, I believe, the skylight now. You used to have to like manually refresh it, and it was kind of expensive. I believe that you can just basically, I don't know if we're calling it in blueprints. We will find out. But you can call the skylight, which basically does like kind of fake GI. You can call that to update more frequently with less of a performance hit. Looks like there's a blueprint node for it, so I will be doing that for Cinetracer and for Unreal Engine. And my goodness, does that look good. Oh my god. Environment light mixer. So put all the relevant parameters together. Well done. Looks like a Cinetracer interface. Water rendering and meshing system. I've saw some demos of this. I don't fully understand it. It looks like the water system they use for Fortnite. And if that's what it looks like, I'm sold. Oh yeah, here it definitely is. So is this going to allow me to like do the splashy splash and the ripples? I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to have to put a boat in Cinetracer too, so get ready for the boat. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of like landscapes in Unreal Engine and shipping them in Cinetracer and just like building stuff with them. So I'm kind of interested in this like spline base. I mean, this is already like landscape splines, but it's kind of like water splines that like cut out you know, little paths in the landscape. And there's also like spline based the landmass plugin. Kind of cool. Bit procedural as well. It's kind of a procedural look. Wow, how do we do this? I don't even know. An underwater post-process material that's automatically applied based on camera location. Oh my god, yeah, that's some good stuff. That's good stuff. I'm gonna go make a map with this. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Much stuff to investigate. Really cool stuff going to be coming out. First Cinetracer, people. Water body actors in editing. I don't know what this is, but I think it's like the spline of water like edits the landscape, something like that. Ripples. Do the GIF. Do the GIF. GIF it up. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That's going to be fun. So next is movie queue workflows enhanced. So this is when you're doing sequencer and you want like, you know, you let each frame bake for like a couple seconds sometimes. It can be as long as you want. And you get better aliasing and you get cool motion blur, and it just makes it look like it got rendered out of like, you know, Arnold or V-Ray or something. But it's right in Unreal Engine. So I think what I saw is that there's some, well, here it is then. We have XML workflows to Final Cut. Okay. I do use Final Cut. Open Color IO, cool. And I think I saw something about export formats. I got to do the slow scroll. Render pass support for like, it's called deep compositing, like EXR and that sort of stuff. I don't do that anymore. Pro Media Codecs. So right out of the gate, we can export ProRes or Avid. So you have to license these usually, I think. To get that, I will be exporting ProRes instead of image sequences, because Final Cut Pro does a terrible job, to my understanding, of handling them, and that's my current NLE. Don't think less or more of me because of it. I use all of them, but I currently like Final Cut. It just kind of goes with like the way that I do things. I use them all though as needed. Sequencer nonlinear animation tools. So this is big work, big stuff for me. Let's look at this GIF. Is that we'll be able to do like motion blending and clip creation and mocap cleanup all within Unreal Engine within Sequencer. I have been waiting on this for quite a while. If you followed my virtual production vlog series, I started off with mocap and then gave it a big hold, big pause. I did a lot of mocap stuff, face, hands, everything. I had done it all, but I didn't want to do cleanup in Motion Builder, not because that's a bad way. That's a great way to do it. I would do it, probably at a professional level, but I wanted to share the process of it, and I wanted to share the cleanup and the authoring of the animations in Unreal Engine, because then more people can follow it. We can do better, cool stuff with that. So I look forward to doing a lot of mocap, and I'm kind of chilling for the year. 2021, lots of mocap coming out, lots of checking out hardware, lots of cleaning up at Unreal Engine. Gonna be cool. Inverse. Oh yeah, full body inverse solver. That's going in Cinetracer. I'll show that later. Multi-GPU support. What? Added multi-GPU support with Nvidia. What? Wait, is it just for end display? To be able to scale end display volumes. I don't think this works for like regular Unreal Engine. However, if it does work for regular Unreal Engine, I'm going to need 2 Quadro 8000s or 2 A6000s or whatever the new one's called. I would like 2. I just want 2. It needs a friend. It's super lonely. My Quadro 8000 is so lonely in its case downstairs in the HPZ8. End display stuff. I'm never the one that actually sets up end display, so I don't know that much about this. But Holler, Vitali, and end display, the people who set that up, they're probably real happy about it. Deterministic cluster rendering with chaos. That's cool. So we can kind of like, does this speed up the simulations? So you can kind of like guess the physics of like where it's gonna go and kind of pre-plan that. Maybe, I'm not sure. Fixed issue with sky atmosphere renders. Is that just in end display? I'm not so sure. I was having no issues with it. Maybe this is all end display stuff. Another in-camera VFX template. So this must be like, hey, let's get started with end display kind of thing. Time code. Get ready. Get ready for the time code. I'm not ready. I don't like time code. Collaborative viewer template improvement. So this is kind of like a VR viewer, maybe. We had a very similar system from Magnopus on the LED wall shoot that we did. Looks very similar. In an HDR sphere. Jonesy. Uh-oh. Someone plays Fortnite. Voice communication, collaborative sessions. Okay. So this is a template. So can I just like, could you download the template? I download the template. And can we just within Unreal Engine do multi-user? Is that what's going on? Because I'll do that. Is that what's happening? Look at, you can have lots of weird avatars. It's VR chat for Unreal Engine users, and I am so into that. Two-handed interactions, so a bunch of VR stuff. That's cool. I haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen much from the VR side of things for a while. Just had a call about this. The remote control API. I think there's like a template now that comes with this, because I can't make this from scratch. It's like, here's a web library of widgets. Nope, I need like a little bit of help. So I think that template exists now. And the integration to control essentially Unreal Engine from a browser, be that on an iPad or another computer. That's what this is doing. So that's getting easier perhaps to do. Chaos Physics Beta. So they test this stuff in Fortnite, which is a pretty big game. So they get it to work well, like 100 players at once on the server. That's pretty cool. I don't know much about the Chaos Physics stuff. Chaos Physics Vehicles, is that for like the suspension and stuff like that? I'm going to have to try that. Zen Loader. Oh, so this is for next-gen consoles like the PS5, and it makes things load faster? Not really sure what's going on with that. Not sure that's relevant to me either. Improved mesh creation tools. I keep hearing about these, so we're doing more and more modeling in Engine. So they did like a loft or a revolve, I think that's normally called. So more and more modeling in Engine. I'm into it. I'm like a Maya person at the moment. Also Blender. Gonna be hard to pull me away from that, but if we can start to do more of that in here, that's pretty awesome. I saw some pretty cool Boolean tools. Yes, there's like a pretty viral tweet going out right now of some Boolean demos. Pretty awesome. I believe you can do runtime Booleans, which would be pretty cool too for me. More mesh editing tools. I will just let those continue to evolve because I know how to model in Maya, so I'm just gonna let that go. But if that gets better, that's cool. UVing, I think I saw some UV stuff. Improved sculpting tools. Wow, we are DCC in here now. That's a beautiful drawing. That turns into a weight map. Wow, that's like the virtual height fields, right? Whole new way to make environments. I'm gonna have to learn it. I don't know it. Datasmith exporter plugin for Navisworks. I don't use that. Rhino. So, hooray for the art department in the US. Very Rhino heavy. Building sets, so that's cool. Improved USD live actor in stage importer beta. This feels like an Nvidia Omniverse thing. Is that what this is? I'm not so sure. I have not been able to test that myself. I got lots of stuff to work through, but I do want to try Omniverse and a bit of that USD stuff. Olympic streaming. Not something I do, but cool. Inter-process GPU texture sharing. I don't know what that means. So is this like two games running at once? I don't know what that is. New virtual camera beta. This is relevant. Okay, so people want in Cinetracer and, well, generally Cinetracer, people would like to be able to do iPad stuff. Use the iPad as a virtual camera. And so it looks like they've updated it here for their app. That probably works with the editor and like trigger sequencer and stuff like that. But it would be interesting to know also as well. Oh, that's a cool number pad little widget. I should write one of those. That's kind of neat. It would be cool if you could also integrate this, and they handle the iOS app and the pixel streaming development stuff, and I can just like, hey, plug into Blueprint. That would be pretty cool. This is also pretty neat to see them iterate on these touch-based UIs for cameras. I'm very into camera UIs. Big part of my life at this point. So pretty cool just to see the iteration. That's a very scary menu, but it's cool. I like the UI. I'm stealing this UI. I like some of the things about the UI. Still going with Dolly, Truck, and Boom. I'm cool with Boom. Dolly and Truck to me don't usually cut it. I've talked to a couple companies about that, but you know, whatever. With the diagram, it definitely helps. Definitely helps. Okay, that looks cool. I would try that out for like a day. If I can integrate it to Cinetracer, I'll try it a whole lot more. What is this? Is this a 2D overhead view of it? Is that what that is? Is that a 2D diagram? Ooh, that's clever. And then it pumps out storyboards. Yeah, that's cool. Wow. That's a nice one. I'll have to try that out. So a bit of an update to that. Is that on the the iOS store somewhere. I haven't tried that yet. Frame accurate video feedback. There are several enhancements to improve frame accuracy during video feedback. I don't know what this is really, but cool. Dmx plugin is production ready. Shout out Geodesic. And the this thing, I haven't had time to get into it. I have several DMX lights. I have all my routers set up. I've got my Drummer XR set up. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't learned how to use this yet, but follow a couple people that are doing really great work with this. So controlling Unreal Engine lights from like a ETC Ion or Grandame, and then also sending DMX events back out, which is the way that I'll be doing it. DMX and sequencer, DMX pixel mapping, still experimental, but like if you want to map an image or video to pixels on an LED wall or like a light, you can map it to lights. If you can pixel map like a sky panel, this is the UI for it. This used to use like, to do this kind of stuff, you needed to usually have like Touch Designer or like Resolume or like, you know, Disguise, Notch, etc. That functionality is slowly coming to Unreal Engine. And by slowly, I mean really fast. So fast that I haven't even got into it. A couple templates and blueprints ready for you to have some, to basically be able to hook up like movie style moving lights or event style moving lights and control them from, you know, typical event lighting control apps. I could maybe do that in Cinetracer too. That would be kind of fun. Dmx Template, that's great because man, there's probably a lot to learn there, and I don't know much about it, but that's cool. Live venue, previs, yeah. So basically, like, you know, all those virtual conferences and virtual concerts happening this year. There's gonna be a hell of a light show now. Switchboard Beta, wow, there's just so much stuff in here for the virtual production people, man. The game developers are like, what is all this? LiveLink XR plugin. This is important for me. You can now use your XR devices as virtual cameras for performance capture or as live camera tracking for live action shoots with LiveLink XR plugin. I have not used this. I've seen hints of it out there in the preview builds. The LiveLink workflow is the same whether using XR devices or tracking systems. So this is going to work for the Vive. This is where it starts to matter. So you can exchange your tracking system based on the needs of the project and the availability of the devices. In this release, LiveLink XR only supports Steam-based devices. So yeah, the Vive exactly, or the Index. So that's interesting. It's like an abstraction layer over tracked devices. So it's the same code or blueprints, kind of no matter what tracking device you're using, high-end or kind of consumer Steam-based. I will look at that. I'm not sure how that will affect the Cinetracer stuff, but for virtual production, I will definitely maybe design some blueprints that use this and test it out. Visual data prep tool is ready for production. I don't know what this is, but organized people probably use it. That's what it sounds like. Open Color IO. I don't know much about that either. Control rig branching and looping. Oh my god. This is going to make the character controls I can build in Cinetracer, because I think we can do this runtime, these solves for games. So I'll be building like a nicer control rig essentially for the Cinetracer community, and will allow us to do like, you know, like someone's like a certain height and they play a certain animation and then their hand is like too low because they're shorter. We'll be able to do very similar, like better quality IK nodes to like put the hand up higher and more complex animation stuff for Cinetracer, and then also for cleaning up Mocap. And because in Mocap you're going to get like finger data that's like crazy sometimes, and this is kind of allowing you, I think, to loop through like all the fingers and like have them all do like a certain grasp and spread display and this and whatnot. So I think that's what's going on there. Control rig inversion basically means motion builder cleanup. So you're going to capture your mocap data, retarget it to whatever. Then you can do the control rig inversion, and it'll basically bake the control rig to every single frame, which has been one of the core features of like HIK and Maya and Mobu. It makes it much more intuitive to clean it up. You kind of delete out frames, and I'll kind of show the cleanup process as I know it. I'm not like a cleanup artist or anything like that, or animation mocap animator basically. Control rig component. That be Cinetracer stuff. Full body IK node, aka full body VR chat node. Let's be real about this. Jacobian pseudo inverse, so not the real inverse, damped. We don't want the full one. least squares. Wow. Pseudo inverse, so not full inverse. We had to damp it down, and we want the least number of squares possible. That's the IK solution we want to enable Vive motion capture. I don't know if I'm going to teach it, but I am sure as hell going to learn it and put it in Cinetracer. You got some Vive trackers, you want to control a human in a way that doesn't look terrible. It's this node. Thank you so much, Epic Games, for that. I did have a meeting with some of the developers of this, so very much looking forward to testing it quite a bit. I will ship it in Cinetracer, and then I'll also try to mess with it in Unreal Engine just as like an IK system for mocap. So big picture here, right? This is like a big one for me. Full body IK. No, let's just bring it back. Controller component inverse. That's it. Those are the keys. Those are the keys to the castle, in my opinion. With this, I can do, with a bit of programming, I can do Vive-based mocap right in the editor. Don't need to have necessarily like a third-party software, a third-party suite. Any tracking data I can get in, I just feed it the transforms and do the right interpretations and so on. Let this do the heavy lifting. So mocap right in the engine using gaming hardware, which is how I'll put it in Cinetracer. Not so much needing, I'll use that for the game component. And then I can clean up the animations using control rig inversion, which would be great. So I can author nice animations, put those in Cinetracer of just like loops, or clean up mocap for virtual production with this. So we have the beginnings of in-engine mocap cleanup, and also much more complicated runtime video game type programming, things that can be done as well. So that's a huge one. That's it. If you've been wondering why I've been stalling on some content, it was for that. I can say that now. GPU light mask beta. So yeah, if you want this type of lighting, you're not doing that at runtime yet, unless you're using sequencer and you're baking. But if you want like runtime, like, you know, 60 frames per second or higher, you are baking the light, which bakes this light into light maps and just kind of like multiplies it over the texture. And that's typically done on the CPU, which means it's slow. So to CPU bake this, I don't care if it's a single computer, you could have the most expensive Z8, hours, days, hours probably. So GPU is going to accelerate that usually quite a bit. And there's been like a third party, like Lao something's light mask plugin. Never like using weird branches of Unreal. This puts it right into the actual editor. So baking, oh my god, I'm so interested in this. It's progressive, which is really good, because then it's like I might actually light bake things, and I need a hella GPU. I mean, I have a hella GPU, but like I want the new hella good GPU. This is great. This is great. Unity had it for a second, had it before, but this is awesome. This one's better though. This is a better one. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Light baking. Maybe I'll do it because it's not so painful and terrible as it was with a CPU. I'm excited. I'll try that out. That's gonna be dope. So maybe bake some things for Cinetracer. And if you're doing like virtual studios, like TV studios, you're baking it. You're gonna bake all the lighting, like almost guaranteed. You'll be like baking it. Guaranteed. Unreal Insights, memory stuff. This is, I mean, I consider this for games, but I'm always worried about how big my game maps are, like how much I'm using from memory. And then some of it streams in. I don't really know how that stuff works, but I just try to make it the game levels I ship just like not too big, but I don't really know what I'm doing. So I need to learn how to use that. Mobile stuff. Ooh, is this important long term? Big deal. Big deal as a certain company's mobile products get stronger and stronger. The Unreal Engine games look better and better on them. And so we're slowly turning on things on mobile that are typically only for PC. So get ready for some hot looking mobile games made with Unreal Engine. One of which will be Cinetracer at some point. Dynamic, yeah, so we basically get like shadows and just more expensive calculation stuff that can be happening on mobile that you typically would only say is like, that's a mobile game because everything looks so flat and not realistic. That's definitely changing. That is changing. So they shipped ray tracing support for Fortnite and World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft also released ray tracing support. which is not a great use case of it, unfortunately, but that'll be interesting to see how this is going, as I think Cinetracer users are some of the only people on Steam like really trying to push ray tracing stuff, and it's currently very, very heavy, even with like a 2080 Ti or something like that, but we will see. We will see. I think that like spline meshes didn't have shadows still, and there's a couple little things that they just slowly implement their ray tracing version, and I believe, I don't know, I think that this is the road to Lumen. I'd assume is the kind of this new take on single bounce global illumination at runtime in Unreal Engine 5. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Baking tools. So what, like high poly, low poly, we get a normal map, that sort of stuff? Is that what's going on? So baking in the engine, right? Less reliance on Substance Designer and Substance Painter. I use Substance Painter for baking. That's mostly it. UV editing stuff. I'm not seeing any buttons, but okay, that's cool. Is that like an auto UV? It's kind of a weird one. It's not straight. That's a weird UVing. I wouldn't want those UVs, but that's kind of like for the Datasmith stuff. I don't know. I still UV in Maya, but you know, if the UV tools come to Unreal Engine, that's great. Volume editing tools. Yeah, I've seen some like interesting meshing and Boolean stuff happening at runtime, which is crazy. That'll change everything for me if I can get that working. And Cinetracer, temporal upsampling is a word I don't know what that means. So we're moving on. Python supports. What are people using Python for? It's to batch editor processes, right? Just like Houdini. I've never done a Houdini thing. I've never done Python for Unreal Engine. A little bit for Houdini, not much. A lot for Maya, not much for Unreal. I'm not sure exactly what that's for. Animation insights, like when you have 100 character blueprints running in Fortnite. How's it going? Anim node property access system. Okay, I mean this is the same old transform, modify bone when you want to like move a bone, basically with script instead. And I think these are new getters essentially out of here. Is that what's going on? I'm not really sure. But when I start making my own, essentially when I design like the in-game mocap system for Cinetracer, it'll be a blueprint with a character control rig component, the IK solver in that node, and then a bunch of those new nodes put together. So that'll be cool. Quartz Beta. What is all this stuff? Oh, so this is like the audio gets emitted like spatially. I don't do anything with audio, so I'm sure this is incredible for like real game developers. I don't do any of that. Desktop renderers for mobile. iOS. Okay. iOS implementation is considered beta in terms of feature readiness. What? So this is rendered on iOS. That's what I'm saying. You know what this resolution is? This is an iPad Pro. This is an iPad Pro looking this good. My God, this is gonna be cool. That's gonna be so cool. Mobile deferred rendering. Okay. Okay. So deferred, I don't know like all the details of it. I think deferred is like kind of like SM5. That's how I think about it. So we're getting better quality screen space reflections. It looks like a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I think the screen space reflections are looking better. I don't know if there's AO. I think that they said that a little bit about AO. But in my opinion, mobile rendering Unreal Engine starting to look more realistic in the lighting department. And that's really all I care about for what I do. Anistropy is the kind of streaky lines on the metal. So that's a unique shading model. So that's going to be for cars and ArcViz and whatnot. You make nice looking like pots and stuff for Cinetracer maybe. I don't know how expensive it is. It's for PS5. That's cool. I'm sure like good level designers use that to great effect. I don't. UMG and Slate input debugging tools. I have never seen anything like this. I've never been able to debug my widgets like this. Wow, that's cool. Scary looking, but cool. Okay. Some of my UIs are getting big, so that's probably a good thing to get in here. I just use a lot of print strings. That's still how I debug. LiDAR point cloud improvements. That's a LiDAR point cloud? My God. So E57 format is the one that I usually use when I'm LiDAR scanning. It's been a minute though. And yeah, Unreal Engine becoming a great place to just view LiDAR for free. Usually viewing LiDAR is quite expensive. OpenXR integration. This confuses me. I don't really understand what OpenXR is. I guess it's like a standardization of like all like the not million. There's a lot of VR headsets and controllers, and they all have different buttons. And I try to support them in Cinetracer, and it's hard. It's really hard. Steam VR does quite a good job of standardizing it. Like the hand poses that I just call hand pose from Steam VR, and all the controllers are implemented for me. That's great. That's like months of work. But OpenXR, what is this? Is this going to help me with that? I hope it does. Azure Spatial-based anchors. This sounds like mixed reality for a HoloLens. I don't do that. RHA changes barrier refactor RDG updates. I currently have an RHI crash super hard. It's something I'm working on, but I don't know if... I just don't understand what that stuff is, really. Some other stuff that's happening. Variant Manager. I don't really know what the Variant Manager is. I keep seeing it. Windows Metal Shader Compiler for iOS. Wait. We are introducing a new shader compiler for Metal on Windows. This enables Windows users to compile shaders for iOS projects with a greatly simplified workflow, as they will no longer need to use remote shader compiling. Ooh. No one cares about this except for me. I'm like the only macOS developer I know. To use the Windows Metal Shader Compiler, you will need to install Metal Developer Tools for Windows. You can then enable the shader compiler. There's a lot of questions with this, especially with like Gauntlet. Not that I'm using Gauntlet. So for me, I make Cinetracer and I make it on Windows. Then I have to bring it over to macOS and compile it there. And it's like, but why? It's a good backup mechanism actually. But like, this is iOS, so that's different. But it would be cool to, be able to pump my game out from one single computer instead of having two. That'd be dope. iOS Tv Os Gamepad Input. Okay, that's cool. I didn't realize that was a different input system. I haven't made anything for, I haven't done an iOS with controller yet. But they did, I remember, I was just talking about this with someone. Apple supported, input controllers for the iPads, and I started playing Call of Duty Mobile and got kind of sucked into that world for way too long. Google Gamepad, is that Stadia? I don't know anything about that. SunSky plugin performance update. Some people might like that in Cinetracer, but I think it's kind of okay. Like you kind of tell it where you are in the world and then what time of day it is and what year, and it does the calculation, and it's like that's where the sun is, so that's cool. And you stick that into the new sky system, it looks very nice. I typically like just fully art directing it, but I can see that being useful for like the ArcViz. Niagara updates and improvements. I haven't been using it all that much, but Niagara with geometry is pretty bananas. That run cycle though, those are Niagara particles, those chains, so whoa. Nodes are very pretty, very nice. I haven't been building any Niagara stuff yet, but I do want to do the kind of like Houdini fire shelf object to Niagara. It's kind of like particles for dummies. That's me. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'll try that. Lots to do. My god. I'm taking December off, kind of. I mean, I'm gonna do Cinetracer stuff, but I'm kind of like chilling. 2021. We're coming in hard. We're coming in hot. Mocap. Lots of stuff to do. Much Houdini as well. And Maya. And just everything. Just so much stuff. Advanced Niagara example comp. Okay. Niagara stuff. Sequencer quality of life stuff. Okay. Curve editor. Camera shake stuff. Subsequences. Okay. Get ready to update your sequencer plugins. Live link face for iPad. Did that not exist? This was working before though. Live link face worked on iPad. I'm pretty sure. Time code and sync improvements for the video engineers. AR core. Oh. Can I get the depth data from this? I've got much to do with this. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and actually publish an iOS app pretty soon. Oh, there it is. The other key to the puzzle. ARKit 3.5, scene geometry, mocap, and occlusion. Oh boy. ARKit 4.0, depth API, and LiDAR. You don't know. This is, maybe you do know. This is it. Exposing this. Is this already in? I can push an iOS app and I can get this data. This is like big deal right here. This is like the future. The future. Platform SDK upgrades. Okay. I make a PC game and macOS game at the moment, but PS5 maybe in the future, and we're moving on. Who can even get a PS5? Not me. Major upgrade notes. Okay, and then I think it becomes like behavior trees. I stopped using those, but that's probably good for like, you know, MMOs and stuff. And then a whole lot of bug fixes. Should I read all these bug fixes? Look at this. Woo! Look at this. Why would you even list all these? There's so many. I got that free scroll mouse. Look at this. All the bug fixes, all the bug fixes. How many programmers are working on this engine? There's so many things. I won't ever fix this many bugs in Cinetracer in my lifetime in this one release. So cool. Anyway, kind of new format here. Kind of silliness, but I wanted to read this anyway, so I thought I would read it for a YouTube video. Kind of goes with my like kind of new WoW style of making stuff right now. Kind of taking the month off, and I mean, I'm still working a ton, but like still kind of chilling, playing WoW. Shadowlands just came out, and been making some like WoW VO videos, and I was like, hey, I should make like a Unreal Engine one, shouldn't I, as well? So really cool stuff. Really long video. Who even watches this to the end? I don't know. Let me know if you did. But for me, big picture, you know, I'm a bit of a duality of a game developer for Cinetracer. Like, what of this can I put in Cinetracer and give to people? And then also virtual production for the stuff that I kind of like to build and do virtual production content around. TLDR, probably should have done this at the beginning. Improved sky, sun, clouds, water, environments. Environment system, all in a box, real lovely, beautiful environments with Quixel Megascans. Just do it. It's going to be incredible. For Cinetracer people, I'm going to make lots of beautiful maps for you. So that'll be cool. Virtual production, much easier to make better looking environments, I think. For the character improvements, grooms, I would really like to ship full hair grooms into Cinetracer. Check performance on different systems and whatnot. And what that means is when you're lighting the digital human that has the hair, backlight works. You have like glowing backlight hair, and you're gonna have anisotropy. And like if you're like lighting hair and it has like a kind of like a flat part here, it has like a shiny reflection. So you'll light virtual hair like you would light real life hair, and that's pretty awesome. So the digital humans will look better. I'd like to ship that in Cinetracer. Of course, when I'm doing mocap in the engine, I'd like to use the best fidelity digital human I can in the grooms. That's a huge component, especially if you like really big hair. And then also mocap. Why did I stop doing mocap stuff? Because I was waiting for this release. I've got lots of mocap hardware behind me and just all over the place. Want to do that. I want to mocap directly into the engine. If that's not perfectly clear, I want to see the actual character live retargeted that I'm going to be controlling, so I can tell if my elbows are like in my body or like they're crazy. I don't want to just generically mocap. I want to mocap the actor that I'm going to be doing and see that in the environment, even and light it if we can pull that off. Capture the mocap there. I'm going to write my own mocaps over, write it by actually just taking theirs and just like skinning it basically and modularizing it for Cinetracer. So in-game mocap for Cinetracer are going to be happening. And for regular virtual production, just doing mocap in engine, capturing it, inverse solving, cleaning up, shipping those as animation assets for Cinetracer, and then also just making my little Unreal Engine movies, you know, my machinimas. Mocap. Mocap is heavily enabled now in 4.26. And there was a bunch of other stuff, but those are the main ones. And I've been waiting for that for quite a while, months at this point. So it's almost go time. I have a bit of a chill, and then I'm going to jump right into that. I'll be doing a good amount of that as videos on this YouTube channel, probably. Live streaming some of it, like all the new environment creation. I just live stream that. The streams don't always stay online, but, you know, I'm doing that here. And once I learn it and it's solid and it's working, and I will update Cinetracer to 4.26 for PC and Mac. Make sure all this stuff is working. Like I have does a groom work on Mac OS? Seems like it would, but I haven't tried it. Do all these new editor things work across platform? And just hopefully what that means is just better looking maps being able to be made by me because the tools are a little bit easier. Especially water. Like I don't mess with water right now at all, so I'll be checking out this water system. And then better digital humans is like the main thing. That's everything. That's the key. And so all those tools are very much beginning to be in the engine. So that's very cool. Mesh editing and stuff like that, I'm pretty good with Maya and Blender. I don't really need that unless it's runtime parametric geometry. Then I'm very interested, like Houdini. I'd like to be able to run Houdini engine at runtime. That would be my absolute dream. I think that could definitely happen. If that happens, I've got even more programming to do. This is a long video and I can just talk forever, it turns out, about this, but that's, I guess, why I make videos about it. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you're looking forward to 4.26. Those are the things I'm interested in. What are you interested in? If you're a game developer, what was even in here for you? I guess there was, like, the environment and stuff. I'm just so focused on, like, virtual production and making, like, movie making tools within the engine that I don't even see the game stuff so much. Maybe there was game stuff, I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you on the next video. I'm not sure what that will be. I'll be live streaming a bit over the next couple days, months, years, possibly. Who knows? Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. That's the peace sign, not this. It's this. It's this. This is the one.